So let me start out by saying this. If I'm being completely honest, when I signed up for this trip, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I wasn't all that concerned or interested in sustainability from a business standpoint. And to be perfectly honest, I was satisfied with the idea that I would be able to travel to Australia, see a kangaroo and maybe a koala, and come on home none the wiser. But at the end of it all, looking back and reflecting on the places I went, the people I met, and all the things that I learned, I can say with the utmost sincerity that this trip has truly changed me. And not just in an academic sense of gaining knowledge and furthering my education, but it has changed the way that I now view and participate in the world around me. The idea that has marked this new line of thinking is my own perception of progress, and how my previous idea of what this word meant shifted as I continued throughout the trip. Before leaving the States, my views surrounding the idea of progress had been molded by the capitalist society within which we all operate. So many of us are consumed by the notion that bigger, better, faster, and stronger in the industrial and economic sense define progression, and that production, consumption, and economic profit are the markers by which we determine the magnitude of our progression. However, I now see that this approach to progression is both narrow-minded and short-sighted. To truly grasp what it means to progress, we must look at our actions from a larger and more holistic point of view. I now see that progress is intimately linked to the practice of sustainability and how we as humans must evaluate our own actions, not just based on economic indicators, but we must look at how our actions affect society as a whole as well as the environment, for our generation as well as for generations to come. Every action we make has consequences, and we must look at the people, the planet, as well as the profit generated before deciding what is and what is not progressive. However, the decisions we make related to this idea of progression as a society are not always easy. I think about how we must sacrifice now and make the hard choices in order to better ourselves down the line. And one could apply this same line of thinking when talking about my skydive experience in Queenstown, New Zealand. My single greatest fear is heights, but I knew that on this trip I would be presented with an opportunity to face that fear by the way of skydiving. Now, this was not an easy choice, and it was not necessarily something that I wanted to do, but it was something that I felt compelled, if not obligated, to do. In looking fear in the face, and making this tough decision, I knew that further down the line I would be better off for it. In making these hard choices that promote progression and mutual benefits across the 3 Ps, we can ensure a viable future for generations to come.